fans, welcome to the Sunday morning NFL kickoff for the 2025 season. Not just that, welcome to Freebird Rules on Sunday morning, right before your kickoff, right while you're grilling, grabbing a cold beer, cold beverage, whatever the case is. You could spend your Sunday mornings with us on the inaugural episode of Sunday Morning Sick Picks with the return of Mike D.
None other than your boy, Mike D.
Let's go.
What's good, man?
Let's go.
It's awesome to get everything back rolling. It's been a minute since I've been doing the podcast as far as Six Pick goes, so this is gonna be kind of like a rebrand a little bit. You know, no new logo or anything like that, but it's a refresh, a restart, and we're coming back with a vengeance in 2025.
Rebrand and a retool for an idea that me and this guy right here have been discussing for a couple of years, but sometimes it takes time to get a good thing going together. And this now, on kickoff of the 2025 season, is the time for Sunday Morning Sig Picks, your Sunday morning pre-show for everything NFL. We're talking fantasy football. We're talking DFS lineups, which Mike already has pulled up on his end right now.
Yep, we're gonna DFS lineups going. We're gonna give you some fantasy stuff for today. It's week one, man, and there's a phrase that I like to use for week one, which is start your studs. But this week we're gonna change it up. We're already 2 games into the season, and as everybody's seen, nothing has gone the way we thought it would go. Pacheco gave people 5 points. Worthy got knocked out in three plays. I mean, it's a mess.
Zero sitting on my lineup. AJ Brown considered a stud. He ended up with one catch the entirety of that football game. One catch. Devontae Smith with 4 fantasy points as well. So we're having the conversation here at the beginning of the year of the start your studs conversation versus the play the matchups conversation. And it's good that we have the conversation now, because at the end of the season, when the dust settles and you're looking at how many of your fantasy teams actually survive,
right,
you say to yourself, damn, this strategy worked to perfection, or damn, I can't wait until the next draft because I really self-sabotage myself.
I mean, to call it self-sabotage week one is a bit of a crazy statement, only because it is week one, but it can honestly feel like that, especially with fantasy football. Like, there's a 17-game season, but for fantasy football, it's 14. So every game kind of means a little bit more for us than it does when it comes to the real NFL. But we're gonna get started with doing the picks for Super Bowl predictions and everything like that. Elon will give you his rundown. I'll give you my Super Bowl prediction, and then we'll run right into all the fantasy and DFS stuff.
Yeah, we got the meat and potatoes, but for now we're gonna get to the appetizer, because as you know, I was not on this past week on the pod. Shout out to Old Money for Joey Styles in that thing.
Yep.
He gave you the predictions, the Super Bowl picks, and the hot takes, all that and more. Appreciate Old Money for holding it down. He's currently, grilling, doing a little bit of tailgating as we speak here for the On the Money Sports tailgate as we get ready for week one. I got the gear on for today, but I'm not as stressed as I will be, because right now we don't play until 4 o'clock, so I get to watch a little bit of the 1 p.m. mayhem. It's a nice position to be in, get time to set the lineup, make the adjustments I need to make, ask the questions as far as starts and sits, and give my official picks, because I got to swerve with my Super Bowl pick. I don't think anybody's going to see it coming.
Let's hear what you got. I know Old Money went a little crazy last week. Steelers made it to the AFC Championship.
The Bengals got shafted.
For weeks it was Super Bowl and top 10 pick. That's what we've been talking about.
It's our fault because we left him to his own devices. We left him alone. He had creative control of the entire show, and he said to himself, "I'm gonna take the ball and I'm gonna run with it." And he put the Steelers over. They're on my list right here. You know what I mean? But you already knew what it was going to be with him.
Yeah.
You knew who was going to be there and who wasn't going to be there. He gave you his Super Bowl prediction, I believe, Bills Lions.
Yes.
Two Bills, teams Lions, who have to come out this season and definitely have to come out there and punch somebody in the mouth and prove that they are.
Both teams got to come out and start strong. Both teams have crazy matchups for week one. Lions play Green Bay, and Bills play Baltimore, which are going to be tough matchups, but they're not impossible to win for each team. But with the addition of Michael Parsons for Green Bay and Lamar and them boys, just again, another year where there's just the chip on the shoulder, the monkey on their back, and they're just that's what the Ravens do. They just punch people in the mouth regardless. So it's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, that offense is something. But just a quick rundown as I share the pod, Still got time. If you're still sipping on your coffee, I know it's too early for a beer. Look, I haven't grabbed mine yet. I'm actually doing the do as we speak.
Whiskey's on deck. I'm just waiting
on
for
deck.
the wings and the dip to finish up. And, as soon as I get some food in the stomach, the whiskey will be flowing.
This is the pregame, though. This is the pre-show. We still got time. That's why we wanted to run it around 11:30. We know there's a lot to do. You still got to make your liquor store runs. And we still have some lineups.
The liquor store open. I was not effing around.
Yeah, we went yesterday.
I should have did that. I almost went around 9 o'clock last night, but
we went.
It was pouring, man, and it's still pouring now. And I hate the rain.
Bad weather, so that's going to impact some of the games.
It does, yeah. It actually really does.
And we've talked about the sloppy September football that's going to be coming our way with one less preseason game.
I mean, between weather and pretty much preseason ball for a lot of these guys, it's
two sloppy football games that we've already gotten one out.
Fire up your running backs today. Fire up your running backs.
Glad you said that because that's going to be one of my questions. But so my rundown for my playoff teams on the AFC NFC side, I've got the Ravens as the 1 seed at 12-5. I've got the Buffalo Bills with the same record as the 2 seed, with the Ravens having the tiebreaker over them, also 12-5. Kansas City Chiefs in the 3 spot at 11-6. Texans at 10-7 in the 4 spot. And then my wild card teams are the Chargers, Bengals, and Pittsburgh Steelers. So I've got 3 teams from the AFC North making the cut. It's a brutal division, but it could potentially end up being the best overall consistent division that with the black and blue defensive teams that can play, that can put up points. They give you everything that you need in order to win at least 10 games. So on the NFC side, I've got the Rams as the number 1 seed, 12-5. Detroit at 12-5 at number 2. I've got the Eagles at 11-6 with the 3 seed. The Atlanta Falcons at 11-6. And my wild cards are the Commanders, 49ers, and the Bucks. So that sets up Bills versus Steelers, Bengals versus Chiefs, Chargers versus Texans, and it sets up Lions versus Bucks, Eagles versus 49ers, Commanders versus Falcons for wild card weekend.
Nice.
And in those wild card games, I've got Buffalo beating the Steelers. I've got the Bengals beating the Chiefs, pulling the upset. I know Oscar's going to love that one. And then I've got the Chargers beating the Texans. And on the NFC side, I've got the Lions beating the Bucks, the Eagles beating the Niners, and the Washington Commanders beating the Falcons and making it to the divisional round. In the divisional round, I'm taking Baltimore over the Chargers. I'm taking the Bengals over the Bills. And then in the NFC side, I'm taking the Rams over the Commanders and the Eagles over Detroit. Though I think they'll go to Detroit and, Lions will get their playoff win. But then when they play a team that is more capable, I think Eagles going to Detroit, get the win. Sets up my AFC and NFC title games. I've got the Ravens versus the Bengals. Oh, money special right there. And I've got the Rams against the Eagles on the NFC side. And on the AFC side, I've got the Ravens beating Cincinnati. And I've got the LA Rams beating the Birds, setting up a Super Bowl between the Ravens and the Rams. And my Super Bowl pick, I think Lamar Jackson gets his first Super Bowl trophy this year, and the Ravens get their 3rd Super Bowl trophy.
That's funny.
I think Lamar finally does it. I think a team overcomes the NFC, and I don't think he'll even have to beat the Chiefs to actually do it. I think the path will be clear. I think that the Bengals will be the hot sleeper team to look out for once they get into the wild card, but I think they're going to hit that wall in the Baltimore Ravens. Easiest schedule during the regular season, number 1 seed, bye week. Harbaugh's going to have them boys ready to play, and we know how much the NFC teams actually struggle when they have to deal with the Ravens. The record he has against NFC teams is actually insane.
Damn, dude, I really like your prediction because me, you, and Oscar do this like every year where we almost have like the same picks. Yeah, and we don't ever discuss it as like we always tell people. We like the shock factor. We like the swerve value. When you guys asked me earlier at your crib, I didn't want to spill too much of the beans as far as what I was thinking. I love Oscar's prediction honestly because it could definitely happen that way. But for me, I actually have Detroit and Baltimore in the Super Bowl for my Super Bowl prediction, and I have Lamar winning.
Lamar winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I got Lamar winning the Super Bowl.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's what I think too. So that's funny. That's funny that how we both kind of got there. But I didn't put a whole together thing like Oscar and Elon did as far as my whole playoff breakdown and everything like that. But I do like Baltimore's chances this year getting in. As long as, again, I mean, this could be said about every team in the NFL. But as long as I think Baltimore's defense can stay a bit healthy and they just kind of play the way they did last year. And the offense is the offense that runs through Lamar and Derek, as long as they can cut down on the penalties, because the Baltimore Ravens were one of the most penalized teams last year in the NFL. So I think if they can keep that at a minimum, especially going into the playoffs and making that or doing that playoff run, they got a chance, dude. They got a really good chance at winning the Super Bowl this year. So
the self-inflicted wounds. And also, I feel like their identity has changed a bit because they used to be known as the defensive powerhouse. Defense is still decent, but it's not like before. They're more of an offensive powerhouse.
They're definitely more an offensive powerhouse. Definitely a little bit more balanced than some of the other powerhouse teams in the NFL as far as both sides of the ball is concerned. But I think Baltimore does it this year.
It helps your defense when your offense can, on the first 2 drives of the game, go down there and punch it in for 2 touchdowns. And now all of a sudden you're playing a little bit more loose with a 14-0 lead. Yeah, I'm going to blitz. Why not? We can get a turnover now. And we
bleed
end
the clock.
This game.
With guys like Lamar and Henry, they just bleed the clock. So.
Yeah, and if he's running at the level they would, 1,900 yards for the guy that he could have eclipsed 2,000 had he played every single game.
Yeah.
But at again another year where people were predicting the regression of Derrick Henry. He's been
I'm done doing that. I mean, it can happen any season at any point. I think at this point, but I'm done saying that Father Time is going to catch up to Henry. Like
statistics show, 27 is the drop off year for the running backs. It's the cursed year, and he's at 31 and defying the laws of physics.
Yeah, so
top 5 in the league with running the ball consistently.
Until he blows a tire or he calls it quits or somebody hits him hard enough to where he gotta again walk away from the game. Like I don't see that guy slowing down.
And I mean, spoiler alert, I expect them to run all over Buffalo tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they're gonna. And I like Buffalo's defense, man. Don't get it twisted. They got a good front 7. Their safeties are good and their corners aren't bad neither. But their front 7 is definitely the more stronger side of that defense. But it doesn't matter who your front 7 is. Honestly, Derrick Henry shuts it all down always, every time.
Oscar heard the predictions from outside, and Oscar's sending me text message threats because I predicted the an AFC North title game, and
that's funny.
He's currently threatening me from outside, ladies and gentlemen. So I've pissed off the commissioner on the Money Sports.
I will say this though: if Cincy finds themselves in an AFC title game against whoever it is, I think Cincy takes it, man.
Yeah, you think they beat Baltimore?
Yeah, I think you let Joe Burrow and Chase in the playoffs, man, and they get that far. Oh man.
I think they get right to the edge. I think they get right to the edge, and then they get knocked off by the team that is just going to be ready to take the AFC. Which
it's always hard playing your division rival a third time. So and if let's say Baltimore gets the edge during the season and they see each other in that AFC title again,
Ravens took 2 from them last year, I believe. 2
crazy
games too.
They did. And the years the year that the Giants, the first year that the Giants won the Super Bowl when we beat the undefeated Patriots. We seen Dallas and they beat us twice that year, and we seen them in the playoffs and we beat them.
Yeah,
so,
it's
hard. It's hard playing that team a third time.
You can see like where my trust level is for Buffalo. I have them getting eliminated in the divisional round. I'm done buying in. I'm not putting them on the final slip. They're not making another Super Bowl in my booking.
Man. It's so tough.
I can't do it.
Every year we're talking about how great the team is and how great Josh is, and they just can't get over that hump, man.
Year after
shoot themselves in the foot. Your uncle said it early. He's overthrowing, underthrowing, making mistakes. Like it's just, they just can't. They can't get over it. They can't get over it. Man.
It changed the rules of overtime for these guys,
and they still can't make a difference. So
I think that the worst thing that they want to deal with is a Cincinnati Bengals team that is coming in from the 6th seed as a wild card to do damage and knock teams off. I already got them pulling the upset wild card weekend over Kansas City. And I think I got them following that up with Joey B eliminating Josh Allen the very next week. Yeah. And then right when you think he's going to do it to Lamar pulls a swerve, and them Ravens end up hoisting a 3rd Super Bowl trophy.
It's so possible. It's there. I mean, honestly, I could see it. I could really see it. So
took a little bit. I took off all personal feeling off of it, because if there's a team outside my division that I hate more than a team inside my division, it's probably the Ravens.
Right.
I can't stand the Ravens. They are a playoff rival. They are a thorn in our side. The times that we were the 1 seed at the top of the AFC, they were usually the team that would oust us. So I hate them, but at the same time, I like them.
Right.
Because there's a lot to like about them with fantasy football.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot to like about their schedule and the fact that if anybody is going to knock off Kansas City on the AFC side, it's either one of the two teams that I put in the AFC title game.
Right.
Cincy,
Right.
Baltimore.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see it. I don't see it any other way, man. AFC is completely wide open. You know, there's a lot of strong teams in every division, so it's really hard to predict, but I do see the path for the teams that we have predicted for this year. So it's possible. It's possible.
Yeah, and you know, it's now time to navigate the path to another fantasy championship in week 1.
Well, not this year, my friend.
Real quick.
Not this year.
You don't know that. You can't stop me in every league.
I do know that. Oscar's clairvoyance is rubbing off. I do know that. Okay?
Before I get to that, a couple newsworthy notes that Sleeper's been dropping since, you know, the last couple of hours. In case you missed it, Cardinals are adding quarterback Kyler Murray to the injury report this morning due to an illness, but he will start against the Saints. Now, someone who benched Justin Herbert to start Kyler Murray against a favorable green matchup like the New Orleans Saints, I read this to myself.
Wait, what league was that?
This is in our Dynasty League. This is in Kingpins. I read this to myself, and I said, you better figure it out. Dude. I know it's a rainy day maybe out there. You want to play some more Call of Duty? Get your ass on the field.
They're in New Orleans, so they're good. They're good.
So Xavier Worthy suffered a dislocated shoulder on Friday night and is undergoing more tests.
They have no timetable. I read no timetable for his return this morning. Which is kind of crazy if it's just a separated shoulder, but I guess they must have. I mean, it looked like. I mean, I know Kelsey hit him really hard, but
Kelsey screwed me over.
Dude, to separate your shoulder in a situation like that is so wild.
I'm down 93-0. And Xavier Worthy sitting there with a 0 in my starting lineup. When I could have put Jerry Jeudy in there, I could have done a plethora of things, but I didn't.
It wasn't a bad start, man. It wasn't a bad start. It's just
he collided before anything even happened.
Yeah, 3 plays in, he pulled the Aaron Rodgers, the old Aaron Rodgers.
It wasn't a bad start until that moment where you realize, he ain't coming back into the game.
Right.
And nothing's going to change the fact that he's sitting in your starting lineup
with 0 points.
Big fat 0.
The old Jaden Reed.
And I'm going against the machine, Gronk, to make matters worse. And I was talking shit. I was like, I got this. and he put out Hurts and Herbert to start off his week. So I'm looking at a 90-something point deficit already.
All right.
Chris Rodriguez of the Commanders is a healthy and active today.
There you go.
Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt.
Start your Bills.
Could be.
Your Bills.
If you were torn,
I got him in a couple leagues, but I like the running backs that I have going, so I'm just gonna see what Bill does today, and then I'll make a better decision next week.
Well, now this cleared up a decision for me against you in East Coast because I had Bill in my RB2 slot, and I was torn between do I start Bill or do I start Tank Bigsby? And now that I see Rodriguez is out, I'm saying to myself,
Bill's the better start.
Yeah,
because start there.
Tank Bigsby still has those other 2 guys that are healthy that he may.
And
have
it's going to
rain.
It's raining in Jacksonville. Panthers Jacksonville game. It's raining in Jacksonville 1:00. So that's something to keep an eye on.
Darnell Mooney and Chris Godwin have been ruled out week 1.
Seen that.
Per Adam Schefter.
Yeah, I've seen that. So no Mooney means a lot more targets for Pitts and London and possibly Bijan. And now Raven McLeod steps into that slot and wide receiver 2 role for Atlanta.
Who did they play?
The Bucks in Atlanta.
That's a banger.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good one.
That's a 1:00.
Yeah, 1:00.
Oh, we got 8 1 p.m. games.
Yeah, so DFS wise, Ray McLeod is like $3,000 right now on DraftKings. So I would probably take a flyer on him in some of your lineups. Just cause I think Penix is gonna have a good year this year. So Ray McLeod is definitely a good play for today.
Ray McLeod. Let me pull up my DFS lineup that I showed you a month and a half ago. He told me it was too early to make them, and I said to myself, shit, maybe he's right. But nonetheless, my only upcoming, let me see here. So I've got Bryce Young in the game that you say we're getting shit weather in. Right. He was at 500, 5,700. I got Chase Brown for 6,600. James Conner, 6,100. Matthew Golden, 49.
Golden's a good play.
Tet McMillan at 5,200 to stack with Bryce.
Yeah.
The guy you don't like, but I think is in for a sneaky comeback season because nobody's paying attention to him on the field. Debo Samuel at 5,200.
Right, he's a good price.
Njoku, somebody who I feel like, as far as a tight end goes, he's not one of the big three, but he could potentially end up as a top 5.
He's not a big three, but when you go look at his games with Joe Flacco, he's balling. And
Yeah.
Joe Flacco's the starting quarterback right now in Cleveland. So, yeah, I would take.
With Flacco, he's the wide receiver 1.
Yeah, pretty much. So you can take a lot of Njoku stock today, too.
I took Jamar Chase in the flex because a lot of times
great.
I like to build out the team at the other positions and try to see how much money I have to put towards getting like a top wide receiver 1 or RB1 as the flex spot.
Yeah.
And I'm running with the Cardinals DST against these New Orleans Saints because I don't really know, I don't know what we're getting from the Saints. It could be a mistake, but we don't know that. So I'm going to take my shot at it and just see what happens.
It's true. Yep. And, plays like the Cardinals are going to be super popular today. So no matter what type of contest you're in, people will be playing that Cardinals defense. So I think if you're looking to get a little bit different, punting on a defense and going cheap like a Titans, which is the cheapest at 21 or 22, the Giants are super cheap too. And again, you guys been hearing me all summer rave about the Giants defense. Will the Commanders put up points on us? I think I kind of expect them to, but I think the defense, when the Giants put up points, I don't think it's solely just going to be the offense. I don't think the defense is going to score every week, but there's the opportunity there, especially with that front 7 that we have. So I'm excited.
The path to the Giants winning that football game is getting out there and punching Jaden Daniels in the mouth. I'm talking about sacks early on.
Yeah, getting to him.
Breaking shit down.
Just getting to him and, getting a hand on him and making him step to the side here, step to the side there.
Letting him know we are here. Right. Just showcasing what your front 4 can do with those guys lined up and the damage that they can do, not to mention the fact that already on week 1, it's not an overreaction to say that this is a big game on both sides of the coin because you've got Dallas the following week.
Yeah, so we got 2 division games to start the year off, and the biggest problem and for the Giants, besides just being a bad team the last 15 years, is not winning division games. So these next 2 weeks is it's week 1 and 2. And it's hard to say they're must-win games, but at the same time, you only get 6 division games. We started off the bat with 2 out of the 6. So, they're must-win. They're kind of must-win games.
Technically, it's not, but guess what? It would suck to lose.
Yeah, it would definitely suck.
Because where it
wouldn't help the cause.
You know where it puts you. You start digging that hole for yourself too early in the year.
It's going to be so hard to get out of it. And the next thing you know, Jackson Dart is starting week 6 instead of week 8. Or instead of not at all, because personally, I'm one of the Giants fans who do not want to see him on the field at all this year. And there's already been reports this morning, the last couple of days, talking about there's packages set up for him.
Oh, he wants to get out there.
He wants to get out there. It looks like Dable is ready to kind of put him out there. So everybody's going to, especially if we lose today, the only thing we're going to talk here about is why Jackson Dart didn't play and he should be starting and this and that. So it behooves Russell Wilson, honestly, to really win this game.
To go out there and airmail.
Moonball it out. Let neighbors do his thing. Hit Wandell underneath when you can. And Slayton's a burner too, man. Can't sleep on Slayton on the seam routes and the post.
How you feel about that offensive line?
You know what? I think with another year together, I feel confident. There was a lot of tape, and even watching JMS, John Michael Schmidt, get kind of beat on certain plays in preseason and during training camp and stuff like that. But there's other reports and other videos, of him doing good and doing well. And so I think with another year under their belt together as an offensive line, because that was the big thing for us in those early 2000s, that offensive line had played together for 5 years before we had won that Super Bowl. So when you get a cohesive unit as far as your offensive line goes, it definitely helps. Yeah. So hopefully another year together with these guys will do them some justice, but it's still shaky. I'm not going to sit here and say it's the best offensive line in the league. It's definitely still shaky, but they just got to play together, man. They just got to play together, do their job, and they'll be all right. Tracy looks like he's ready to go, man. I think Tracy's going to have a good year. So
the path to victory is, something that a lot of teams weren't able to figure out last year is don't let Jaden Daniels get into his little rhythm.
Yeah.
6 to 7 yard passes will turn into 15 to 20-yard passes.
Even a lot of those damn fucking screen passes that he loves to do. We got to even try and shut those things down. So
They got the
just blow up his rhythm.
They got the McLaurin mess out of the way. And they cleaned all that stuff up on their end.
That was big.
So it's going to be interesting to see, like, you know, they're going to be out there looking to prove something against their division rival. They saw what just happened on, you know, Thursday Night Football.
Yep, but they got some young guys on defense, so they're looking to go too, man. Dan Quinn's got the defense, humming. They had him humming last year, so I expect them to kind of pick up from where they left off, or at least try to. But, you know, there can always be that step back for these kind of teams that have that Cinderella year where they come in with that rookie quarterback and he tends to take a step back. So I'm not completely taking that off the table neither.
Well, yeah, I mean, I feel like when it comes down to we first started looking at the schedules and that got released and we started comparing teams and looking at what teams were doing, especially like the headlines for the Commanders during the offseason a lot of the time. A lot of people, they were the favorite to regress and take a step back, you know, potentially maybe even like miss the playoffs. You again got the way the NFC is built. It's a powerhouse on that side. It's going to be hard for teams to eat. It's going to be hard for, you know, a 9-8 may not make the cut. 10-7 might not do it for you, depending on how many ties we have towards the back end of that wild card spot. But there's also like people like me that I think that they take that step forward. I think they're good enough to win the NFC East this year. But again, games like this go a long way for, you know, to set the tone.
Yeah, man, they definitely do.
And just, you know, we know a lot of the stuff we're seeing these first couple of weeks, it's definitely a mirage. But guess what? It feels better to be on the winning side of that mirage because these games that you steal early that you had no business winning, it's like less to worry about down the stretch.
Exactly.
You need those games later. Your team's battered. Your team's hurt. You don't have this, you know, it's just a different way of going about those last 4 weeks.
True. It's very true, man. So, you know, they're not must win, but it definitely helps.
You see that ball in the mud, pick it up. Get your hands dirty. That could mean everything. It could determine the entire game for you.
That's right. Whew. But yeah, let's start. We'll go. We'll do the position thing now. Because the position thing will kind of go. We're just gonna give you like who we think is gonna start at each position, and they'll kind of coexist as far as fantasy and DFS. And then I'll give. We'll give some props and we'll end it up.
I might have to put an X next to the first quarterback I had on there because apparently he's sick today. But it was going to be Kyler Murray. I said to myself, put him on your slip, but I don't want to tell people that because now this, you know, the report of him not feeling good today is all of a sudden, you know. So I'm gonna. I don't have two options. I have one option left. I have an option and a half, and my option being Brock Purdy, who I think is great. I think a Brock Purdy Kittle stack is the way to go about it today. Because I think there's potential for Kittle to go out there and get 2 tutties. I know we like Ricky Pearsall. We like Juwan Jennings. They could go out there and have big days. But the blanket for this team, the reason why the motor and Brock Purdy keeps going is because he has a top 4, 3, however you want to call it, tight end in the game. The name is George Kittle. When he's healthy, he's gashing them down the field for big plays. Yeah. McCaffrey is good to go. We just don't know how much of him we're going to see. But one for sure thing is the consistency of George Kittle.
I'm very high on Brock Purdy this year. I love Brock Purdy as a whole, fantasy-wise. I think that they're sleeping on the Niners as far as offensively goes. I think Kittle's going to have a good year. I think Pearsall's going to have a good year. McCaffrey is always up in the air. I never draft him, but if you got him today, you could start him. It is calling for rain, it looks like, in Seattle. At least that's what it's saying on DraftKings right now. But, you know, how bad it can be or is it in Seattle really remains to be seen. I haven't looked at the actual weather app. But if it's not that crazy, then, you know, Purdy and them guys can still throw the ball and get those 2 touchdowns. If not, you know, you can fire up the running backs and maybe try and go CMC today. Maybe this is a good CMC day. And, you know, they're saying he's good to go. K9 Kenneth Walker, maybe you could fire him up. You know,
49ers defense.
49ers defense.
We don't know which, you know, Sam Darnold we're getting here. Exactly. We don't know what the Seattle Seahawks are going to look like.
Today's a good test for Sam Darnold.
Yeah, I think this is the start of the run where we start to see like, oh shit, the Niners healthy can win some football games.
My favorite quarterback today was, and it still kind of is, Bryce Young, but it is, again, calling for rain in Jacksonville. So
Bryce Young, he was in my slip.
Yeah.
I'm clairvoyant. A month and a half ago,
I love Bryce
Young in my slip.
I love the Panthers this year. But if you guys aren't feeling as far as what the weather is, like if you guys are scared of the weather, then I like Matt Stafford and the Rams against Houston. I think they're going to have a pretty good day too.
4:00 banger, NFC versus AFC.
So I kind of like that.
Division champs going head to head.
Running backs. You want to go running backs?
Yeah.
My favorite running back for today is Mr. Bucky Irving. I love Bucky Irving today.
Good old Buck.
Bucky Irving playing Atlanta. They're playing, in a dome. No Godwin. We got the rookie wide receiver for Tampa Bay out there, Buka, and he's going to get a lot of burn today. Mike Evans is there. Baker trying to repeat what he did last year. Bucky is going to be the focal point of that offense. I think he's going to be the engine. He's going to be sort of like the heart and soul of what makes that offense go. So as long as he can get a run game going and catch passes like he did last year, I think Tampa Bay will be all right. But I love Bucky.
So happy I drafted that guy.
Yeah, I only got him in 2 or 3 leagues. Probably should have tried and get him in more, but it's all right.
This past draft, it was that inner turmoil in round 2 of Bucky Irvin versus Kyron Williams. How many shares of which do I want more of? And having to make that decision and seeing on the back end of that same round, Kyron get taken and being like, damn.
Right.
I knew he wasn't falling back to me, but it just still sucks to see that sticker get taken off the board.
Yeah.
And thinking like what could have been. But,
another running back real quick that I like for today is going to be Trayvon Henderson, rookie running back for the Patriots. I like him a lot because they're playing Las Vegas, so it's not a big crazy defense that he has to go up against. He does have Max Crosby that he got to deal with, but
you starting him?
Yeah. I got him in a couple of DFS lineups. I'm starting him in every fantasy league that I have. I got him in at least 5. And it's raining over there in New England, so at least they're calling for rain. So him and Drake May, they're talking about having more design run plays for Drake May this year, so that could take away from Trayvon Henderson touchdowns. It's not impossible for it to happen.
I'll be starting Drake May in 3 leagues.
Yeah, Drake May's not a bad start this year. For today neither. Again, they are calling for rain, but I think he's going to have a good year with his legs, Drake May. So starting him and ramping him up, even for DFS, he's only $5,500 or $5,200 for DFS, price. So it's a good price. Yeah. It's definitely a good price. If we can, run in 2 touchdowns at the very least, with whatever passing that he gives you, that can definitely do you some
maybe
justice.
Dump offs to Henderson.
We see that?
Yeah,
no, we could.
Connection get going because that'll be a nice long.
Henderson looked great in preseason. I mean, we're talking about the kid who had the 100-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. He had a 40-yard run for a touchdown in the preseason. So he looks good.
Goes off.
Oh my God, I'd be sick.
I would be 2 touchdowns,
sick, bro.
150.
Sick. Oh my
it's always what you do. Hey, I mean, look at everybody who's gonna start putting stock into Quentin Johnson after what we saw on Friday night in Brazil.
I'm not doing it, bro. He gotta give me 4 weeks of stuff like that before I put him. Somebody's gonna pay up for him. I don't know if I can. In the East Coast, I don't know if I want to spend fab on him.
So I got for running backs this week, week 1, talking about boom games. I feel like the guys' potentials for that. I think I got Chase Brown. And I've got Bijan Robinson.
Nice.
I think Bijan Robinson, bright and early, week 1 of the season, shows you why he is projected to end up with the running back 1 status in fantasy football because of the amount of times these Atlanta Falcons are going to want to pound the ball, down the middle of the field. Not to mention they have another guy in Tyler Algier who is potentially looking to end up, making big money eventually at some point, or anything should happen to Bijan, be the unequivocal running back 1 in an offense that is going to be effective with running the football, And the Falcons are also very DFS friendly with some of the names that we mentioned, like McLeod, who we now know Darnell Mooney's officially been ruled out. They don't have a wide receiver 2.
And McLeod's $3,700. I said $3,000 earlier, but he is $3,700, which is still cheap and a good price.
Nice little wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3 slot that you could put him into. But I think Bijan and Chase are prime because of we saw it in preseason. The amount of targets that Chase is just getting out of the backfield just for no reason at all. Right. We could rack up 7 catches with our running back and about 90 to 100 rushing yards and have a very efficient 30-point day.
Yes, no, it's not impossible, man. It's definitely not impossible. It is all there.
Wide receiver, I got J-Mo.
Okay, the boy just got paid, man.
I got J-Mo.
The boy just got paid, so it's not bad.
It's not a big name. It's not going to be one of the first names you think of. It's somebody that crosses your mind, but you know what I mean? You either have him or you don't.
I like it.
And I don't have much stock in him. I've got him in 1 Yahoo league, and I think that with Detroit and what they're going to do and how they're going to be able to move the football downfield, big test now for how much of the system that Ben Johnson left behind for these guys to run are they going to utilize, and how much are they going to have to adjust to, because you got to remember their rival, Chicago, is going to be reading everything that they put out there.
Nice.
You know what I mean? Like if I can read what you're doing, this is my. You can't run your. You know what I mean?
Right.
You can't run my offense against me. So
Yeah.
what's Detroit going to do? They're going to use J-Mo more. They're gonna hyper focus.
I think
use
so.
J-Mo more down the field, and J-Mo can also be a big potential guy for getting you some bonus points in those 40 plus, 50 plus yard touchdown leagues.
He's a big bonus guy, man. He's you know, he can be boom or bust sometimes, but when he booms, it's booming.
It's a lot of boom.
Yeah, it's a big boom. So I like it. I like the play. Definitely good play. Wide receiver for today, that's gonna be sneaky. And for fantasy wise, this might be a hard start, but
like we're not
DFS wise, I think I absolutely love the play. Jaden Higgins from
Houston,
the rookie.
Okay.
You know, he went undrafted in some leagues. He's been picked up on a lot of waivers the last couple of weeks. I've seen in some other leagues. There's other leagues where he went drafted in the, you know, like as far as a late round flyer or last round pick type of deal. And I love that for anybody who was able to get their hands on him. Again, I know it might be a hard start depending on your roster layout of your fantasy league. You know, if you have a 2 flex league, I would highly consider putting J.D. Higgins in one of those flex spots. I think the kid is they're talking about him being pretty much another Nico Collins out there.
Right.
So this kid, I mean, we're talking about essentially just having Stroud having 2 Nico Collins out there to throw the ball to, along with the other rookie that they got from Iowa, Jalen Noel, I think his name is, if his first name is Jalen. But I know last name Noel, but it's gonna be fun to watch that offense unfold. Unfortunately, no Joe Mixon, but they have Nick Chubb, they have the rookie Woody Marks, they have, you know, a better offensive line than last year, and the coach always has the defense humming. So, you know, Houston has something to say. I think they lose today's game, but I love Jaden Higgins today. He's only 4,800 on DraftKings, so yeah, love the play.
I think they win our division, but I think their offensive line is going to be not good. I don't think they adjust.
Yeah.
And I think the Rams are going to be it's going to be too much of a good defensive line against a not so great offensive line kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so, you know, the good thing about it is, because I think the Rams are going to win this game, the Houston Texans are going to be in we have to throw the football mode. Now, we're not totally even sure how they're going to do this running back room right now. Like, you got Chubb, Woody Marks, Damian Pierce. How's that going to work? You know, like,
it's going to be
is
different.
Chubb truly the best out of them? Or
it's definitely going to be different.
You know, so there's a lot of question marks on that side. I really, really am high on the Rams. I like them enough to get to the Super Bowl. So, to me, I think that they're just going to show that they are the better team. But for fantasy, for DFS, the beauty of it is that the garbage time of being down 10 points could work out well. And Higgins could end up being that reliable option outside of Nico Collins that, you know, Stroud can be able to get the ball to before he gets smacked.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Yeah.
Another wide receiver that I love for today is going to be a homer pick, but it's one of the cleanest 1:00 games that we have right now as far as it being outside and not having to worry about weather conditions. Is going to be your boy Malik Neighbors. Russell Wilson there with the deep ball. Neighbors is, you know, they've been talking about his injuries all summer long. The toe thing has been a problem, and it's kind of pissed me off a little bit, but I believe the boy's a dog, and he's just going to fight through it. And he's an extraordinary talent. So pairing him up with Wilson and the offense that we got going on right now, I think it's going to be good, and I like his chances for today.
Nice. All right. I dig it. The tight end position, I've got one that we already talked about, and then I've got one who could end up putting his name into that category next year. Maybe you won't be able to get him at a discount next year because of the fact that this offense is using him all over, routes all over the field, right across the middle, deep balls. I'm talking about George Kittle, one of those guys, and Tyler Warren.
Nice. Love Tyler Warren.
2 guys that I love for fantasy, I love for DFS, anytime touchdowns.
Yeah.
You know, I got George Kittle on the 3-man slip that I made with Kittle, Gibbs, and Henry because I think Kittle's just going to eat today. I like him for 2, but I haven't bet him for 2.
Yeah. If you got the capital, those guys are good anytime straight bets every week. Yeah. Every week.
Warren's going to eat.
I got Warren in 4 fantasy leagues, so you got him. You fire him up.
Fire him up in that Colts offense because we don't know what we're getting with them either. Daniel Jones is going to be the starter for that game.
DJ's throwing for 3,500 yards this year. It's happening. Today he starts his revenge tour.
They took a lot of the question mark teams and they bunched them all up for the 1 p.m. slate.
Yeah.
So they just put them there. It's like, here you go.
Yeah, 4 p.m. is going to be great, though. Good watches, 4 p.m.
Bangers, yeah, but it's going to be entertaining because it's a bunch of sloppy bum fights at 1 p.m., which is just going to be, crazy knockout punches throughout. Defenses, I gave you one with the Arizona Cardinals. My other one is going to be the Denver Broncos. I love my Titans, but we got the rookie starting. We don't know. We don't know what this is going to be. One thing I do know, Denver Broncos was a very profitable defense for me last year. Fantasy, bets, pick sixes. The Denver Broncos gave me everything you needed from a defense last year. I'm glad I got them early in the year, and I happily drafted them in a couple of leagues. I feel great about them. Across matchup, like any matchup. I'll throw the Broncos against anybody because, they'll allow something, but they'll make up for it with the fumble recoveries, interceptions. The defense with the most pick sixes last year was the Denver Broncos. Like, these guys were getting me full-blown touchdowns with bonus points to match. So
they were a great defense last year.
They were winning me weeks.
Denver and Cardinals defense, I think, is the play for fantasy football year-long leagues. As far as DFS goes, again, the Cardinals are everybody going to be on them. They're only $3,500 for a defense, which isn't too bad. Me personally, though, I always like to punt on defenses. So again, I think the two defenses to kind of probably focus on for DFS for me anyway, or my advice would be the Panthers or the Giants. They're the cheapest defenses out there besides the Titans, but I just don't like the Titans' chances against Denver today. So
we got the biggest margin. Like, I think they're favored at like -8.5, or the biggest spread -7.5. So they got them favored by a touchdown. It was the widest margin for.
I wouldn't be surprised if Cam Moore goes out there and keeps the game close. Like, if he's able to do it,
or lose a heartbreaker.
Lose a heartbreaker. But for it being first game, it's tough. It's a tough. It's a tough matchup.
I did my stack of the week. One thing I wanted to throw in there, so we only got a few minutes left. Who's going to be the vulture of the week? Jalen Hurts is out. Right? He already did his vulturing.
I mean,
you can't nominate him, but he did vulture too.
It could be the two guys that play tonight, and Lamar and Allen taken away from Henry and Cook. You know what I mean? Like, those guys always tend to vulture away touchdowns for their running backs. But another guy to kind of keep an eye out for would be Tyler Algier. People, Bijan Robinson was a number 1 pick this year in a lot of leagues, and Tyler Algier had like 7 touchdowns last year. Yeah, like, he does that. He will vulture TDs from Bijan. They will let him in goal line play. So
I'm gonna go Dameon Pierce. Something ugly.
That's so that's so
gross,
ugly,
bro. Something gross.
That's so
all the Woody Marks owners.
Honestly, that's how I felt about Quentin Johnson. When Quentin Johnson caught touchdown passes, I was like, did anybody have him on the ticket? This was so crazy.
One was crazy.
Oh man.
But Dameon Pierce with the those of us who are high on Woody Marks, those of us who, if you had the balls to start Nick Chubb today, and then you see Dameon Pierce line up there at the 1 yard line, that was
that was gonna hurt. So bananas.
That was gonna hurt.
So bananas. I want to give everybody a prop play real quick. I'm doing the 50-yard, 3-leg 50-yard plays this year. I'm gonna try and do a bunch every week, and I'll try and put at least 1 or 2 out for everyone. But I love Chris Olave for 50 yards. I love Devontae Adams for 50 yards, and I love damn it, I didn't write it down. You know what? Let's go JMO for 50 yards. I looked down and seen his name. JMO for 50 yards. So
I like it.
Devontae Adams, Chris Olave, and Jameson Williams for 50 yards.
Oof, I like it. I absolutely like it. Ladies and gentlemen, it's getting close to that time. We've got a little bit of pregame to do ourselves, but we were glad to be able to put this out there. Again, an idea, a concept that we have been talking about. We've been booking it within the group chat, and now we're bringing it to life. First episode of Sick Picks Game Day, and get ready for much more where that came from. And we're going to give you a little bit of everything. We're going to talk some matchups as the season progresses, give you some storylines, upsets, sleepers, and breakdowns on our favorite positions for fantasy football and DFS.
We might not be here in Casa de Money.
We're going to make it happen regardless.
We might not be in Casa de Money every Sunday, but we're bringing this every Sunday. We're bringing this energy. We're giving you the news every Sunday. So
yes.
Make sure you guys stay tuned in.
Make it happen. We're going to help each other set lineups. One starter sit question I do have. Jerome Ford or David Montgomery?
Ooh, I'm going Monty.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with Monty.
Okay.
Him and Gibbs eat together. They're not. I don't like when Monty scores. I don't consider it vulturing from Gibbs because Gibbs can easily go out there in the next drive and score himself.
Yeah.
Honestly, and Monty's one of those guys where he's not even a bad RB2 to have, really, when you think about it most days. And he's a super solid flex and not a bad RB2 to have. So I would probably go Monty, only because the running back situation in Cleveland probably going to be playing from behind most games. I mean, it's really hard to depend on Ford.
Because the funny thing is they do have a good track record against Cincinnati. So
no, they do.
Weird.
I mean,
like
so for today,
so it should be interesting.
I mean, even for today, I'm probably still going. I mean, Ford would be spicy. Not thinking about their matchups today. I mean, Ford would be spicy, but I guess considering the matchups, Ford wouldn't. I guess there's no wrong answer.
Well, Montgomery's been in the starting lineup, so he's going to stay in the starting lineup.
Right,
I'm not going to get crazy with it. I've got 45 minutes to get crazy, but I'm not going to do it.
I think Ford is spicy.
Both solid plays. I like Ford today more. Touches, opportunities, and a good matchup.
Yeah, I mean, Monty's. We've seen him get 15 touches along with the 15 to 20 that Gibbs would get. Gibbs. And even if Gibbs only gets 12 touches, he's getting like 6 targets.
That's what he's doing with those touches.
So
he's taking it to the moon.
Right, yeah, exactly. He's giving you 30-yard touchdown runs or 50-yard at least rushes.
Boom. Gibbs and J-Mo to me are those boom guys for today as far as like that offense wants to set off some fireworks and make some noise. And that game is going to be fireworks at 4 p.m. with the Packers and Lions.
It's going to be great. It's going to be a great game.
Maybe I'll do a random beer o'clock. Let you know how I'm feeling after this 1 p.m. slate.
Maybe I'll give you some feelings ball later.
Maybe I might get some feelings. We're gonna get a lot of feelings. We're gonna get a lot of feelings soon because we haven't even. This is just the appetizer right here.
That's right. Right. It's only week 1, man. It's only week 1.
We're about to start pre-gaming in the On the Money Sports Lounge here. Again, just get used to seeing us on your Sunday mornings because we are going to be talking ball right up to kickoff here from the On the Money Sports Lounge. Great to have the return of Sick Picks.
Yes.
So it's damn good.
Yeah, it's gonna be good, man. Thank you for everybody tuning in. Try and tune in. Let us know what you guys think. Like, share, comment.